It is Driver Quality Cars. My name's Rick James. Of course, what we've been working on for quite a few years here, is the 55 Chevy 210 sedan Del Rey. Setting a new goal. My birthday's in like 4 days, so yeah, we're hitting it hard. I went ahead and rebuilt the original fuel pump. Might have went over that in the last video. The one that was on the motor. Went through that one. Luckily the diaphragms were still good. It just had a bunch of sediment in it. So I got that out. I do have a original style AC Delco, what they call a sediment bowl, or I mean, it has a filter in there, so technically it's a filter and sediment bowl. And yeah, that's what we're going to go with versus a standard style filter, because it'll have either a brand new tank or one that we've cleaned out pretty good. But yeah, we did run it off of an auxiliary. You can see the tube down there. It was pumping like crazy. Got it running. Just used some old steel lines that I had. I straightened them out. And Pops had a used transmission cooler versus trying to run the transmission lines into, of course, the back of the radiator, because this is an automatic radiator. Didn't want to take a chance on it leaking, or I mean, eventually I will probably bend up some lines just so it looks more original. We'll see if we stick with the 265 or how long we're going to stick with it. I mean, seems to be a really good running motor. It sounds great. The Power Glide, filled it up full of fluid, started it, checked the fluid levels, and yeah, it was, the pump wasn't sucking it down. We're like, what in the heck is going on? And turned out we were missing some torque converter bolts. So threw some torque converter bolts in there, went into gear perfect. I mean, I know the Power Glides are notorious for blurping or burping out transmission fluid, so I didn't want to overfill it. Level seems to be good. It was going in and out of all of the gears. So the next step, because in the last episode we mocked up our power brake stuff. Of course, we've just got some hopefully good used calipers with these stainless steel braided lines. Yeah, we got this mocked up, and the next step was actually for me to pull off the spindles, clean them out, re-grease the inner and outer bearings. The inner the best I could, because I didn't want to pull the wheel seal. I don't have any new ones. There are these rotors that I got with the drop spindles, which are actually really nice freaking rotors. Of course, they don't have any wheel studs, and we're balling on a budget. More like I'm broke, so I'm using what I can just to get this running before my birthday. Yeah, so we got that, and we also purchased 25 foot of the copper coated line with a bunch of fittings. There's actually 50 foot here, so we can do the 57 station wagon. Also, over in the abyss over here, underneath my mess here, we've got the right and left Raceasbestos wheel cylinders that the old lady purchased for my birthday or Christmas. It's hard to keep track, but yeah, my old lady, she was always worried about what to get me, and everybody says car parts, and she's like, what? She's like, that's like sending you into the store to pick out tampons or her shampoo, like I'm going to be calling with a million questions. So I get ultra specific. I say I need rear wheel cylinders for my car. It'd be awesome if I had some. Next thing a holiday's rolling around, and instead of some crappy gift, she's getting me exactly not only what I want, but what I need. You gotta love it. Yeah, so she got me those. I got the right and left wheel cylinders, and then of course underneath that bad boy we have the brake shoes, and also bought a hardware kit. So we have the line, the hardware kit, and I had dug a shoe out, and it still looks like it's got plenty of meat, and it's not all horribly pitted. Gonna clean that up a little bit, and then we'll start pulling all of this apart. Surprisingly enough, besides me, I think when I was younger, I had to knock the drum off because it was stuck and we needed to roll the car around. But either way, we've got that rear shoe. Well, I think that's technically a front shoe, but it'll work. And then over on this side, this shoe was a little bit more rough. It's definitely got some gouging and some wear in it, and it was hard to get off, which is why the sledgehammer and all the junk on the ground, the typical pullers and stuff that I couldn't even get on the dang drum. I just ended up giving it a couple of hard love taps, It was, okay, let me try this to pull it off. Didn't work. Go to the dead blow, because you don't want to hurt the drum. Then you're like, okay. Forget it. Not messing around. So you get that guy. He don't work. So you're like, oh, I'm going to get that guy. You don't want to know what the next step was. The next step was the oxyacetylene torch, and we were just going to torch it off and deal with it later. But luckily, we got it all off with a few love taps with the sledge. This side, of course, is complete as well. The adjustment stars don't seem to be seized or anything. Just typical dirty brakes, but we'll get some lines bent up. That copper-coated stuff's supposed to be super easy. You can bend it by hand. Yeah, we got all that done. That'll be, of course, once we get all that done, of course it shifts. And, yeah, as soon as we have brakes, and probably just throw a tank in the inside of the car, run a line to it, just so we can yard drive it. I mean, I've had this car, I brought it home when I was 14, and then, life happened when I was around, 2021. I'd done a few things to it, but life happened. Had a kid, moved out of state, sold him the car, and he decided to give it back to me once I moved back. No questions asked. He's friggin' been pretty awesome. But yeah, back to these rotors. They actually look like they've already been turned. Brand new dust caps and Timken bearings. Looks like they've been used, of course, which they've got maybe either storage grease. You can see where somebody ground on them a little bit. Maybe to make a hubcap fit or something. Yeah, they came with the drop spindles. I think I will run these just because of that inner bearing being metal, and it's a little beefier and bigger. I didn't show on this, and I'm not going to take that dust cap off. It's full of grease. But underneath this bad boy was a Timken bearing, and it had a plastic casing. The inner part that rides on the shaft is metal, but that outer casing that holds your bearings was plastic. So I am going to definitely run and they've got, they're a bit thicker than these. Of course, these were a marketplace find as well. I think they're either G-body or S10. And of course, I got a few of those, so I swooped them up. I think they were $10 with the bearings, and the wheel seals seemed to be pretty good. So yeah, $10, and yeah, it got me rolling. And then when I bought, of course, the disc brake brackets from Marketplace that turned out to be my dad's buddy, he had the calipers and those rotors without the wheel studs. So the rotors without the wheel studs will get some wheel studs at some point, and we'll pack the bearings, use the newer rotors and stuff. But for now, this will get us rolling. We got the Monroe Matic shocks in. Have to double nut those. Yeah, that's what's going on. Hopefully within the next 4 days, the video will be this thing off of jack stands finally, and me with a shit-eating grin on my face, just driving it 5 or 10 feet, you know. Having this car for so long, and it's never moved under its own power. And I mean, it's got the pretty firewall. Instead of that 235 that I was going to run in the original video, go back and watch it if you're watching this one. Just kind of scroll down to the first 55 project videos, and you'll see me talking about I had a 265 that I bought from the same guy, actually, that this motor came from. I bought it for the same amount of money, but this was the motor and transmission. The other one was a 235 with the bell housing, the Saginaw 3-speed. They kept it or scrapped it because it had a crack in it or something crazy. But needless to say, it was out with the old and in with the new when he said, hey, you know, we've got this one. I think he wanted two, and we talked him down because it was kind of an unknown motor to $100 for the pair, the motor and the transmission, the 2-speed Power Glide. And was sitting there. I said, let's do it. Let's just pull that, drop this in. You know, we've got the all new body mounts, the frame's been completely painted, and of course the new floor. And of course the dash. I'm in love with the dash. I did have the trim and a speedometer cluster in there, and I broke the casing for the speedometer cluster, grabbing the shifter to put it in and out of park because I haven't gotten any of the braces back in the dash there. No bracing yet. And it's not attached. But we do have the gas pedal down there. It's got one bolt in it. The brake pedal's at least attached to the assembly's at least attached. We'll have to put the brace bars on and get the nuts in for that, so that way it'll be nice and stable. So when I go to brake it, it'll actually brake and not rip my hole in my firewall or something crazy. But yeah, all brand new floors, of course. Yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully, hopefully next Thursday I'll be putting it around the yard. Probably won't have that video out until Friday, maybe even Saturday, depending on how it goes. I mean, of course, it's my birthday, and Lord knows the type of work I do. You know, you would think once I actually got some time off, you know, I would take a break, maybe watch a TV show, which is, you know, nice to do, but it's also nice to, you know, just step out to the shop, you know, build something with your hands that's for yourself. It's a little different, you know. There's a little bit more satisfaction. It's one thing when you're making someone else money or you're doing something else for money. When you're doing it just for the love of the automobile, I mean, I could work my ass off and save and save and save and eventually get one, you know, that's completely finished, but, you know, I wouldn't have put my heart and soul into it. You know, it's my therapy. It's literally my therapy session is, you know, I need to think, need to clear my head. I come out and I tinker, and, you know, logic tends to take over and you use your train of thought in the proper way. So, yeah, stay tuned for the first drive video. I'm getting excited, but that's what's going on. Those wheel bearings and rotors and everything are packed, ready for some brake line, brake shoes, rear wheel cylinders, and all new hardware, all new lines, and this thing will be at least rolling. We have no glass. Well, the back glass is sitting in there. We've actually got 3 back glasses, I think, or 4. Then I have all the factory factory tinted glass. It's kind of a greenish tint, like the wing windows, both side, all the side glass. And then, of course, I'll have to probably buy a brand new windshield, and I'm not going to go with factory tint. I don't need the greenish look. I may not even like the factory tint, but we'll pull it out if I don't. We also have all new, brand new window mechanisms for both doors and both rear mechanisms, brand spanking new. We also have brand new felt kit. I think I might have some of the door seals. Not sure, but we've got a lot of the door seals and rubber we've been just kind of collecting back in there. Kind of some cardboard and other things for some door cards, so we can just do what we can do when we can do it, but it'll at least be able to move under its own power, hopefully within the next 4 or 5 days. So stay tuned for that. If you made it this far, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Maybe even share the video if you want. Who cares? I know I do. Thank you. Out.